So you've probably seen that ticker symbol, SCHG, pop up somewhere, maybe in the news or on an investing forum. It gets talked about a lot, and for good reason. It's one of the most popular ways to invest in America's biggest, fastest-growing companies. But what is it really? I mean, what's the secret sauce? How does it decide which companies get in and which get left out? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the Schwab U.S. Large Cap Growth ETF. We're going to find out exactly what makes it tick. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to build a solid foundation. Just get the basics of ETFs and indices down cold. Then, we'll dive into the specific recipe that SCHG follows to pick its stocks. After that, we're going to pop the hood and see what companies are actually inside this thing. And finally, we'll see how SCHG stacks up against some of its biggest competitors. Sound good? Let's get into it.
All right, so before we can really dig into SCHG itself, we absolutely have to get our heads around the two big ideas that make it all possible. We're talking about exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, and the stock indices that they're built to follow.
Okay, first up, the ETF. Honestly, the best way to think about an ETF is to picture a pre-filled shopping cart. Imagine you're at the stock market supermarket. Instead of having to walk down every single aisle picking out hundreds of different stocks one by one, you can just buy this one cart that's already filled with a specific collection of them. It's a way to buy a whole bunch of different things all at once. So, if the ETF is the shopping cart, you might be asking, well, who makes the shopping list? And that's where the stock index comes in. The index is the recipe. It's the blueprint. It's just a set of rules that tells the ETF exactly what to buy. You can't actually invest in the index itself. It's just a list, a measurement tool that defines a slice of the market, like the biggest growth companies in the U.S.
And this, right here, is the key relationship to understand. The index is the passive recipe, and the ETF is the final product that you can actually go out and buy. The entire job of an ETF like SCHG is to just follow that recipe, to execute that blueprint as closely as humanly possible. That's it.
Okay, so now that we get the concept, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this specific recipe. What are the exact rules that SCHG has to follow to find what it calls a growth company?
So the blueprint SCHG is built to track, well, it has a very long and official-sounding name. Get ready for it. It's the Dow Jones U.S. Large Cap Growth Total Stock Market Index. This whole recipe is designed and maintained by S&P Dow Jones Indices, which is one of the biggest, most respected names when it comes to creating these kinds of market benchmarks.
Now, I know that name is a total mouthful, but it's great because it tells us the entire strategy right there. U.S., pretty simple, right? Only American companies. Large cap means it starts with a pool of the 750 biggest companies out there. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is in that last word, growth. The index then sifts through all 750 of those giants to find only the ones that fit its very specific definition of growth. So, what is that definition? This is where it gets really interesting. See, growth isn't just a vibe or a gut feeling. It's a formula. A company gets scored based on these 6 specific factors. Some factors look to the future, like projected earnings growth. That's what analysts think is going to happen. Other factors look at the past, like trailing revenue growth, which is how much the company's sales have actually grown over the last 5 years. And then it looks at the present, with ratios like price to book, which kind of asks if the market thinks the company's worth more than just the stuff it owns. To get into the club, a company has to score well across this whole report card. Okay, so we have our blueprint, we know the rules, we know the 6-factor recipe. So now, let's finally go take a look at what the building looks like once SCHG puts it all together.
This is the really fun part. When you take those very strict rules and apply them to the entire U.S. stock market, what companies actually end up in the shopping cart? It's time to look under the hood of SCHG. So after you take those 750 large companies and run them through that strict 6-factor filter, how many actually make the cut? Well, as of late 2025, the answer is 198. So you're getting a really focused portfolio here. But it still includes nearly 200 of what this index considers to be America's absolute top growth businesses. And this table perfectly shows you the real-world result of that recipe. I mean, look at this. The top 10 holdings are a who's who of global tech and innovation. You've got NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. These are the companies that the formula flagged as having the strongest growth DNA. But it's also really important to look at those percentages. The top 3 companies alone make up over 29% of the entire fund. This isn't a broad, watered-down fund. It's a very concentrated bet on the biggest of the big.
And that concentration, it gets even more obvious when we zoom out and look at the sectors. This is staggering.
A full 48%, we're talking nearly half of the entire fund, is invested in information technology. And when you add in communication services and consumer discretionary, which is where companies like Meta, Alphabet, and Amazon live, you can see this fund is overwhelmingly tilted towards technology and tech-related industries. This is probably the most important characteristic to understand about SCHG.
Okay, so besides its intense focus on growth stocks, the other thing that Schwab really loves to highlight is its cost. You'll always hear the words low cost and tax efficiency when people talk about SCHG. But what does low cost actually mean when you're investing?
The fee for owning an ETF is called the expense ratio, and for SCHG, it is just 0.04%. Now, that number is so incredibly small that it's easy to just brush it off. But let me tell you, over a lifetime of investing, a tiny number like this can make a huge, huge difference.
Let's put that 0.04% into plain English. It means that for every $10,000 you have invested in this fund, the annual fee is just $4. That's it, $4 a year. That ridiculously low cost means that more of your money stays invested and working for you instead of going into the pockets of a fund manager. And over decades, that is a massive advantage.
Now, a fund like this doesn't exist on an island, right? It's got competitors, it's got alternatives. So for our last section, let's give SCHG some context and see how it stacks up against a couple of the other big dogs in the large cap growth space. Okay, let's put SCHG side by side with two other heavyweights, Vanguard's VUG and the famous QQQ from Invesco. You can see a few things right away. First, look at the cost. SCHG and VUG are tied for the cheapest, at that tiny 0.04%. That makes QQQ look 5 times more expensive. And then, when you look at performance over the last 10 years, you see that all three have been absolute powerhouses. SCHG's returns are right there in the mix, proving it can definitely hang with the big players in this category.
So let's bring it all home. Let's recap what we've learned. What is SCHG? First, it's an ETF, a simple way to buy a whole basket of stocks at once. Second, it's a passive fund. It just automatically follows the recipe from the Dow Jones Index to find large U.S. growth companies. Third, that recipe leads to a portfolio that is very, very heavily concentrated in the technology sector. And finally, it does all of this for an extremely low cost.
Look, our goal here today wasn't to tell you whether you should invest in SCHG, it was to demystify it, to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how it works, the blueprint, the ingredients, and the price tag. We've laid out all the facts. So the final and most important question is the one that only you can answer. Is a low-cost, tech-heavy fund that's focused on America's biggest growth companies the right fit for your own personal long-term story? That's the question to think about. Thanks for tuning in.